What if I told you that military dictators once ruled Nigeria, and even after all these years of democracy, they still hold on to power? Well, not exactly like that. They don't rule the country anymore. But boy, do things get spicy when it comes to their elections. Today we're diving deep into the land of the Super Eagles, Nigeria, and how they conduct their democratic elections. Before we get started, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and ring the notification bell so you never miss out on any of our eye-opening content. Now let's dive right in. Picture this: 1999 rolls around and Nigeria steps out of the shadows of military dictatorships. It's like they took off their uniforms and suddenly realized they actually liked wearing suits. Well, almost. Olusegun Obasanjo, a former military dude himself, becomes the president. It's a big deal because it's like the country is shedding its military past and embracing democracy. But here's where things get really interesting. You see, Nigeria's got a presidential system. So the president is both the head of state and the head of government. Sounds fancy, but it means they have to figure out how to elect someone who can handle both roles. So how do they do it? Well, it's a two-round system for the presidential elections. If no candidate gets more than 50% of the votes in the first round, which is like the initial showdown, then those top two contenders go head-to-head in a second round. It's like a sudden death, but instead of being voted off the island, they're voted back in or voted in for the first time. Now, Nigeria's political scene is dominated by two major parties, the All Progressives Congress, APC, and the People's Democratic Party, PDP. Think of them as the heavyweight champs of Nigerian politics. They've been going toe-to-toe for years, and honestly, they've both held the title of the most powerful party at one point or another. The APC came onto the scene in 2013, shaking things up and snatching the presidency in 2015. Then in 2023, it was the PDP's turn to make a comeback, winning both the presidency and majority seats in both houses of the National Assembly. You might be thinking, wait, why do they keep switching like that? Well, it's a game of political chess, and these parties know how to play it. They form alliances, strike deals, and sometimes break ranks to keep themselves in the lead. And let's not forget about the voters. They're not just sitting ducks. They're an active bunch who want to make their voices heard. So if a party isn't playing ball, they're not hesitant to switch their allegiance. In the 2023 election, there were some rumblings about Bola Tinubu, the APC's presidential candidate. Some folks felt he wasn't quite up to the task. And wouldn't you know it, they went ahead and voted in Atiku Abubakar of the PDP instead. Now, here's the thing about Nigerian elections. They can get a little heated. And I mean really heated. There was a lot of tension surrounding the 2023 elections. Like the kind of tension that makes you sweat just thinking about it. Some people thought it might even spark violence. But hey, that's just election season for you. In the end, Bola Tinubu of the APC took home the presidential crown with nearly 8.8 million votes. That's a lot of support. But it was close. Abubakar of the PDP wasn't too far behind with 8.4 million votes. And let's not forget Peter Obi of the Labour Party, who garnered 6.1 million votes. He might have been a newcomer on the political scene, but he sure made a splash. These three were the top contenders, and they really went at it. So how does this election result shape up historically? Well, here's the fascinating part. Since Nigeria returned to democratic ways in 1999, the elections have been a bit of a pattern. The ruling party has been handing over the reins to the opposition. It's like a political game of hot potato. So in 1999, the military-backed candidate Olusegun Obasanjo of the PDP took the lead. Then, in 2007, Umaru Musa Yar'Adua of the PDP won, but he was handpicked by Obasanjo. In 2011, Goodluck Jonathan of the PDP continued this trend, but he faced a tough challenge from the opposition. Fast forward to 2015 and Muhammadu Buhari of the APC broke the PDP's winning streak, and guess what? In 2023, it was Atiku Abubakar of the PDP's turn to step into the ring and claim the title. It's like they're playing a never-ending game of political chess. And then there's Peter Obi, who made a significant impact as the presidential candidate of the Labour Party. His strong showing demonstrates that Nigerians are open to new ideas and aren't afraid to shake things up. The man at the heart of it all is Mahmoud Yakubu, the chairman of INEC, the Independent National Electoral Commission. He's the one calling the shots when it comes to elections in Nigeria. But he's been in the hot seat lately. People are questioning whether he's the right man for the job. Some folks even wanted him kicked out before the 2023 elections. But he stayed put and announced the results that gave Bola Tinubu of the APC the win. Now, you might be wondering, how did he manage to stay in his position despite all the heat? Well, the answer lies in the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, specifically Section 15, subsection 1 of the third schedule. This little-known provision states that the chairman of INEC can only be removed by the President of the Senate and the Speaker of the House of Representatives. It takes a 2/3 majority vote by both houses of the National Assembly, so it's not exactly a walk in the park. But here's the twist. Even though he stayed in his position, there have been calls for electoral reforms since the 2023 elections. Remember those controversies surrounding the elections? Yeah, they're not going away anytime soon. People are pushing for changes to the electoral system to make things more transparent. And guess what? INEC is taking note. They're working on a bill for electoral reform, and it's already passed the National Assembly. Once the president gives it the green light, it will become law. The proposed reforms include things like making it easier for Nigerians living abroad to register to vote. Imagine that. One of the biggest hurdles they face is voter suppression, especially in places like Kano and Jigawa, where it's more common for people to vote multiple times. They also want to tackle the issue of underage voting. You heard that right. Kids who aren't old enough are getting on the voting bandwagon. And nobody's quite sure how that's even happening. Maybe they think they're helping out. Security threats are another big concern. We're talking about attacks on polling units and even INEC offices. Not to mention the fear of violence, just makes the whole voting process a risky adventure. And let's not forget about electoral fraud. From vote buying to ballot stuffing, they've seen it all, and they want to put an end to it. But here's something that might surprise you. Despite all these challenges, Nigeria has managed to maintain relative peace throughout their elections. And that's a big deal. It shows that the people are committed to exercising their democratic rights peacefully. Now let's talk about the youth. They're stepping up and making their voices heard in Nigeria. About 37% of Nigeria's population is under 25. And guess what? They're an active lot. They use social media to push for change, to call out politicians and to make sure their voices are heard. Their engagement has been pivotal in pushing for electoral reform and making sure the elections are free and fair. And let's not forget about the role of the media. They've been shining a light on the issues, exposing wrongdoings, and keeping the public informed. Now here's a question for you. Why do you think these reforms are important? Not just for Nigeria, but for other African countries as well. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We're eager to hear your perspective. Nigeria's elections are more than just a formality. They're a reflection of the country's deeper struggles for national unity and trust. They want to ensure that every vote counts, that every voice is heard, and that the leaders they choose truly represent their interests. If you found this video informative and would like to support us in producing more insightful content like this, please consider making a donation on the BGO app. You can also show your support by liking this video, subscribing to our channel, and leaving a comment with your thoughts, questions, or suggestions. Your engagement helps us continue delivering quality content that sparks conversation and promotes understanding. Thank you for watching. Until next time.